May 30th, 2021, a quiet Sunday evening. Across the United States, workers at the world's largest meat processing company, JBS, were finishing their shifts. Conveyor belts stopped, factory lights dimmed, and the smell of cooked beef faded into the night. But deep inside the company's servers, something was brewing, a silent digital invasion. By the next morning, computers across JBS offices in North America and Australia were flashing error messages. Files were encrypted, production systems shut down, and orders couldn't be processed. Within hours, JBS, responsible for roughly 20% of America's meat supply, was paralyzed. The reason? A ransomware attack from one of the most notorious hacker groups in the world, REvil, the same cybercriminal syndicate that later crippled 1,500 companies in the Casilla attack. This is the story of how hackers froze the world's meat industry, forced a billion-dollar company to pay $11 million in Bitcoin, and changed how nations view cyber warfare forever. This is the JBS meat hack. JBS might not be a household name, but you've definitely eaten their products. They own brands like Swift, Pilgrim's Pride, and Primo, and they supply meat to giants like McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's. Every day, they process thousands of animals in massive plants across continents. So when JBS goes down, a big part of the world's food supply goes with it. When systems suddenly froze, JBS employees tried logging in, only to find ransom notes demanding cryptocurrency payments. The hackers claimed to have stolen sensitive company data and threatened to leak it if the ransom wasn't paid. They also locked every system controlling production lines, logistics, and payroll. The attackers, REvil, were experts in ransomware as a service, renting their tools to affiliates who executed the hacks and shared the profits. The attack hit JBS's North American and Australian operations hardest. 5 major plants were forced to shut down, halting nearly 1/5 of U.S. meat production. Supermarkets feared shortages, ranchers couldn't deliver livestock, restaurants began running out of stock. The timing was disastrous. The world was just recovering from the pandemic, and supply chains were already fragile. Within a day, JBS informed U.S. officials that the attack originated from REvil, believed to operate out of Russia. President Joe Biden was briefed. The FBI, CISA, and Australia's Cybersecurity Centre launched an investigation. The White House publicly demanded that Russia take action against the hackers if they were within its borders. The FBI began tracing REvil's servers and cryptocurrency wallets, but the clock was ticking. Every hour offline cost millions. JBS faced an impossible decision: negotiate or risk total shutdown. Restoring backups wasn't fast enough, and production losses were skyrocketing. The company contacted ransomware negotiation experts who communicated with the hackers via encrypted channels. After tense back-and-forth messages, REvil demanded payment in Bitcoin. Initially, they asked for a much higher amount, but after negotiations, they agreed to $11 million. JBS paid. $11 million gone in one Bitcoin transaction, sent to anonymous hackers hidden behind screens thousands of miles away. JBS CEO Andre Nogueira later said, "This was a very difficult decision to make. However, we felt this payment was necessary to prevent potential risk to our customers." The FBI confirmed the ransom payment, though they strongly discouraged it, arguing that paying ransoms only fuels more attacks. But for JBS, the alternative was chaos: food shortages, financial disaster, and global panic. Within days, production resumed and plants reopened. Behind the scenes, the U.S. government was furious. This wasn't just a cybercrime, it was a national security issue. If hackers could disrupt food, they could disrupt power, water, or healthcare next. The JBS hack exposed how vulnerable critical infrastructure had become. President Biden demanded action. The FBI began tracking REvil's Bitcoin wallets using blockchain forensics. Analysts noticed something: REvil's code was designed to skip computers set to use the Russian language. It was an unmistakable sign of their origin. By June, ransomware was officially classified as a national security threat in the U.S. The Department of Justice started treating ransomware cases with the same urgency as terrorism. Task forces were formed. Intelligence agencies began working together like never before. But then something strange happened. Just weeks after the JBS hack, REvil vanished. Their dark web servers went offline. Their data leak sites disappeared. Communication channels went silent. Some believed Russian authorities dismantled them under US pressure. Others thought they went dark to avoid global heat. Whatever the reason, the timing was too perfect. Months later, REvil's infrastructure quietly resurfaced under new aliases. Their malware reappeared under different names: Black Matter, Darkside, ALPHV. Same code, new faces. The world learned that cybercrime groups rarely die, they just evolve. The JBS hack didn't just cost $11 million. It triggered a global wake-up call. Businesses realized how fragile their digital systems were. Cyber insurance prices skyrocketed. Companies started keeping offline backups, conducting ransomware simulations, and adopting zero-trust architecture. Governments began drafting stricter cybersecurity laws. The line between criminal hacking and cyber warfare became blurred. The attack forced corporations to rethink their priorities. It proved that even billion-dollar giants weren't safe. For hackers, it was validation proof they could take down anyone. For governments, it was a warning that food, energy, and healthcare systems were now prime targets. JBS recovered, but the scars remained. They invested heavily in cybersecurity, brought in top specialists, and restructured their entire IT network. They overhauled vendor access, tightened remote access controls, and ran company-wide incident simulations. Yet their reputation suffered and their payment set a dangerous precedent. Paying meant survival, but it also meant encouragement. Hackers now knew, if you hit the right target, you'll get paid. Behind that $11 million ransom lies a bigger truth. REvil didn't just exploit code. They exploited human urgency. When a company controls what millions eat, hesitation isn't an option. That's what hackers bet on: panic. They know that in chaos, emotion beats logic. The JBS hack showed that the digital and physical worlds are now inseparable. A few lines of malicious code stopped factories. A single Bitcoin wallet held a nation's food supply hostage. A handful of hackers outsmarted billion-dollar corporations and governments. It marked the beginning of a new era where code is the weapon and infrastructure is the target. The consequences rippled through every industry. Companies hardened defenses, but cyber attacks became more advanced. AI-driven phishing, supply chain compromises, and deepfake scams moved into the attacker playbook. The JBS hack was a preview of a future where attackers combine technical skill with strategic timing to maximize impact. Regulators responded. Boards were pushed to prioritize cybersecurity at the executive level. Cyber incident reporting requirements tightened. Investment in cyber resilience, from air-gapped backups to multi-factor authentication and network segmentation, accelerated across critical sectors. At the same time, the controversy over paying ransoms grew. Some argued that JBS did the responsible thing to protect food security and avoid wider harm. Others warned that such payments were attacks on society, enriching criminals and increasing overall risk. The debate continues to shape policy and corporate decision-making to this day. And years later, one lingering question remains: did paying that ransom fix the problem or deepen it? The answer is complicated. Payment restored operations, but it didn't erase the lesson. If attackers can find leverage in your systems, they will. The industry learned to assume compromise is inevitable and to plan resilience accordingly. One thing is certain: the JBS hack wasn't about meat. It was about trust. Trust in systems, trust in technology, trust in control, and that trust was broken. In the end, we didn't just lose $11 million in Bitcoin. We lost the illusion of safety in our digital age. If you found this story eye-opening, hit like, share this video to spread awareness, and subscribe for more real-world cybercrime documentaries. Because next time, it might not be a me company. It could be your power grid, your hospital, or your bank.